Thank you, Chairperson. Chair, let me firstly be clear on this. There are a plethora of reasons available not only to the public, to this House, but to your office, Minister, that justify why you wouldn't want the CEO and the then board to continue doing their job because of a plethora of reasons. That's not my problem. My problem is that your approach was clumsy, Minister. You had one job. Your job was to make an analysis of whether NSFAS in its then composition made sense, was delivering service delivery optimally, whether the leadership was desired, and by desired not by your own political desirability, but desired in that were they able to do their job properly or not, and based on that make an assessment of whether life continues or whether life changes. So that's fine. And the Act says you can put them under administration. Yours is just to have a consultation with the board. And even the Act doesn't say they have to agree. You can just have a consultation. So that for me is not an issue. My issue is that your approach was clumsy. Let's park that. My biggest problem with you, Minister Manamela, is your choice of administrators. So even if I, under any circumstance, want to believe that your intentions for placing NSFAS under administrations were pure, because of your natural choices of administrators, not only for NSFAS, but even for SETAs, that automatically poses doubt in my head of the intentions you have on the basis of your choice of administrators. I'll recap, right? Let's first go to your SETAs administrators. I wrote to you on the 19th of August, 2025, giving a short summary of why the choices of administrators you chose for your construction SETA, local government SETA, and services SETAs were problematic. And you would note that I didn't have a problem with the reasons why you placed those SETAs under administration, because I agree that they are a problem. In fact, they shouldn't exist in their current form. So that is not a secret. But if you want the Republic to believe that your intention is to really fix what is wrong, you need to be able to convince the Republic that the people you are giving the mandate to go fix what is wrong, not only themselves do they have the intention to fix what is wrong, but that they have the capacity to fix what is wrong instead of creating more problems. As you said, you cannot till date still justify why Upangwane is the administrator of the construction SETA. Beyond his implications through his jobs that he has done with government in the past, including the Mfuleni local municipality, with construction SETA alone, you still cannot give us confidence that that man is the right man to fix what is wrong with construction SETA, because he himself has his own issues, which is the basis why I've laid criminal charges against him. You have Zukile Mvalo, your DG, who's been the boss of Zukile Mvalo for all the years of Zukile Mvalo, cannot justify to you that Zukile Mvalo's performance as DDG of skills development is so impeccable that he has the sole expertise in this country to fix what is wrong with SETAs in the country. You yourself cannot do the same, which is why that is not the reason why you gave that is not part of the reasons you gave the Republic for choosing him as the administrator. He himself is the wrong person to have even tried. He has zero capacity. He had zero capacity to manage his own diary, let alone his ability to whip any SETA into action. So he had absolutely no business being your choice for local government SETA. We'll have another conversation as to why he's even messing up now as administrator. And then you have Ntatele Kgogonolo Masog, who for some, they could argue that he's an agent of compliance by yourself and nothing else. Not only is he a politician of the ANC known for his track record in Limpopo, in the Limpopo legislature as Speaker and as MEC, but the whole entire Makaro Masina SEZ's problems have his fingerprints all over them, and you know this. You have forensic reports that tell you this. This is information you know and have at your disposal before appointing these people. Now you have another opportunity to say, okay, NSFAS is a problem for the country. NSFAS is a problem for young people. We still have an ICT problem. We still have a disbursement funds problem. We still have a missing middle problem. We still have a student accommodation problem. We still have infrastructure I can list a whole lot of things that are still a problem. I want somebody to fix it. And the first person you think of is somebody that has not been cleared of a report that details flaws of mismanagement as the South African Reserve Bank. I mean, if we didn't have problems with your person of NSFAS, he would still probably be at SARS and living a happy life he would have, even his salary would probably be at 4-point-something million by now. You know his track record is a problem. You also know, Minister Manamela, that not every criminal is behind bars. So you can never say that until there is a court of law that has convicted a person and put them behind bars, we can't assume there's anything wrong, also because the public service and administration has not found anything wrong. You know very well, even including the board that you now wanted to get rid of at NSFAS and its CEO, your office knows that there are people who are there who should have never been there to begin with, which is why you're part of the reason why you're trying to get rid of them, is because you have knowledge of things that the PSC can commit to but has not. So sitting here as a member of parliament, I have a problem with you and your intentions. You identify a problem that is clear for anyone to see. In your identification of the problem, you then decide, in your decisions of who comes to fix the problem, you create an even bigger problem. Do you accept, Minister Manamela, that you have failed to show the Republic that your intentions, on the basis of the choices of administrators you choose, are honest?
Thank you very much. Firstly, I think my intentions are very clear. They're about ensuring that correct the issues that you've mentioned, which you believe are the issues that affect the institutions, which we have gone ahead to place under administration. That's the first thing. The second thing is that I think the question of the SETAs that are under administration, all of those SETAs that you've mentioned, the work of the administrators of those SETAs, I think all the three SETAs, their administration is being wrapped up. And I think we will need to look at the reports, from that administration of the three SETAs, which is the construction services and, local government SETA. I still believe, and pending, the reports that I've requested in terms of the terms of these administrators, I still believe that, the decisions that I've took then still remain consistent. As much as you remain consistent with the fact that you had said to me in August, and you're still saying to me now, that I was wrong, and specifically with regards to your letter, which I've asked that the department give me a report specifically in terms of the construction SETA and the issues that you've raised. You have said that you have opened a case against one of the administrators, and I suppose the law has to take its course. But what is important for for me in terms of the people that we've identified to stabilize the institutions that you've mentioned, is firstly that they are fit and proper as defined by the different set of pieces of legislation that led to their appointment. And secondly, that, their own track record, should, speak to it. And I think specifically zooming into the...
I'm going to pause you there, Minister. Minister, there's nothing you are going to say in this meeting today that is going to convince me that the gentlemen you choose and you have chosen as administrators are fit and proper. You can quote any legal clearance of the PSC administration, even the law itself. There's nothing that's going to convince me, particularly because you and I both know, Minister, that just because you have not been caught behind bars and convicted, it doesn't mean you are clean. Yes, you are guilty, you're innocent until proven guilty. But we know, because we even know your own organization, the ANC, has instructed Sisisi Tolashe to resign as a member of parliament and as a president of the ANC Women's League. Not because any court of law has found her guilty of anything, but because we know that you don't have to be behind bars to be guilty. Yeah. The President of the Republic of South Africa has fired your predecessor, Nobuhle Ngabane. Not because she's not behind bars. Yes, the Hawks are still busy with the case are open against her. But not because there is any court that said she's guilty, but because the president knew that that which we accused her of is guilty. So the bottom line is we are never, and anybody who is a person of the Republic of South Africa knows that not every gangster is behind bars in our neighborhoods. We know who they are. They are our uncles, they are our brothers, our fathers even sometimes. So that's not an argument that you're ever going to win with me today. Yeah. The point I'm making that I want to plead with you here is because actually, for the first time, I agree with you and your things that you are doing. It's this NSFAS is failing. NSFAS in its current form does not work. I agree with you, and which is why the position I've consistently made to you is that you need to, in order to ensure that there is an effective functioning of the dream of funding poor students in this country, is to do what the Minister of Finance has already advised you to do, which is we can save so much money by just giving Treasury the mandate to handle the finances without involving an entity that in its composition is a problem. The only thing missing is your political will, right? But you chose a compromise approach, which politically I understand where you're coming from. We don't sing the same Catership scorebook, it's fine. But I understand your compromise and the situation you are in. But you cannot, under any circumstance, Minister, convince the Republic in all sincerity that the people you are saying must go fix what's wrong have the capacity to fix what's wrong. They are not. They're not the right people. They've never been. And you're making my life difficult as a member of parliament who understands what you're trying to do here with NSFAS. But because your choice of an administrator is compromised, you're making me gaslight myself.
Can I just say something, just briefly, that I'm not saying that. Well, I'm not going to try and win an argument, as you suggest. I don't think that that's what I'm trying to do, at least. Secondly, I'm not trying to persuade you to believe what I'm saying. And what I said was that the terms of the administrators that you've referred to, are coming to an end. And I think that there are reports. And I'm saying let's judge them on the basis of those reports. And I think the rest of the other points, as you said, that you are not going to be trying to, I think, argue or win an argument with me. That's not what we're trying to do. I think just to try and present the points itself. And also all I'm prepared to say is that we, have given the NSFAS administrator a scope and milestone for him to achieve, with consistent assessment, over time. And I think we should give him an opportunity to be able to do his work.
Final question, Minister, on the administrator of NSFAS. The Nugent Commission, the reports of those commissions, were they ever set aside in any court of law in the Republic?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so you, as before an executive member of the state, as a member of parliament, knowing fully well that there's a commission that made an assessment of the South African Reserve Bank, and knowing that that commission's findings have never been set aside in any court of law, can you, with all honesty, justify to the Republic that your choice of administrator for NSFAS in the form of Ntate Mathebula is the correct one?
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, subsequent to whatever happened, with the Nugent Commission, which is, an important investigation which resulted into the turnaround of the institution itself, which Prof. Mathebula himself had, per the report, indicated that he'd cooperated with the commission. He has subsequently served not just in private entities, I don't want to name them, but also public entities. He's I think just as he was appointed as administrator, he was also serving as the chair of the MDDA, which is an entity of government appointed by the president. But he's also served, or he was at the time of his appointment, the head of the Tshwane University of Technology Business School.
Ntate, I'm going to pause, Chair. We already know you've told us these things. My conclusion is this.
You've asked me the question, and I think on the basis of that...
No, Minister, the Aralwane.
Yeah. Well,
so the point I'm making is you don't need to, you don't have to go back to reiterating his qualifications we already know. That's not what I was trying to establish. The point, and my prayer was for you to receive it with the sincerity I was giving it to you, to say, you cannot, under any circumstance as minister, want the Republic to have faith in you and your intentions if the physical proof of your actions do not afford the Republic the opportunity to trust you. I certainly do not trust that in your intentions of clearing what is wrong, that you are choosing the right people for the job. And I don't think South Africans trust that either. But my 15 minutes ends here, it's fine. Thank you.